everybody, welcome back to another video here with me, Ashley, and the Raspy Dispatcher. Today, I'm just going to answer some questions about CritiCall that I get asked often. And I know you guys are looking for these answers, so I'm just gonna answer some questions I get often. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First question being, what is CritiCall? Now I know I've done a few videos on it, so if you want to deep dive into what is CritiCall, check out those videos in our CritiCall playlist so you can get a full in-depth view of the CritiCall test. But in a simple definition, the CritiCall test is a pre-employment test that is used by multiple different agencies to help determine if a potential candidate has the fundamental abilities to be trained as a dispatcher. And that is also the reason you have to take the CritiCall test. For a dispatch department, they are looking to see if you do have those fundamental abilities that they can train and that you could be successful in training as a dispatcher. And also, and more importantly, for me, I believe that it's important for you to take the test because it'll give you a taste of if it's something that you want to do as a career. Is this something that you're wanting to continue to pursue? I think the CritiCall test is also really good for that aspect because this job is not for everybody, and we want folks to be happy in this career. Typically, CritiCall is a pass-fail test. So each department has the ability to determine what test sections you're going to see on the test and what the pass and fail line is for each of those sections. So let's say they give you five sections to complete. You have to get, let's just do percentages. So you have to get 70% on each of those sections, all 5 sections, in order to pass. If you get 70% on 4 of those sections and then 60% on the 5th one, that is considered a fail. So you would have to retake the test and try again. So that is typically how it goes. If the department that you are testing with says otherwise, always go with what the department says. Can I retake the test? Yes. So each department's waiting period is different. Hopefully, they're giving you that information prior to you taking the test, but typically, each department does allow applicants to retake the test because it's a hard test to pass. Not everyone gets it on the first try, and that's okay. So, have to look at each department, how long their waiting period is in order for you to take a test. Some are a month, some are 2 months. It really all varies. So as I said before, each agency is purchasing this software to use from CritiCall. CritiCall is its own company. And when they make that purchase, they get to determine their passing scores and which sections they want their applicants to take. So if you take CritiCall with one agency and then go take CritiCall with another agency, it's quite possible you won't be looking at the same sections of the test. But don't let that scare you too much. Most agencies turn on the same stuff because we're all kind of looking for the same thing. But understand that they do have the ability to test on whatever sections they find more valuable for their department. You do not have to be able to type without looking at the keyboard. I glance down as well, even while doing this job, but the more you're able to get your eyes off the keyboard and onto your screen, the more successful you're going to be in the CritiCall test, throughout training, and throughout your career. You have to be able to multitask in this line of work by typing, listening, going into different programs, different tools, different screens. If you have to look at your keyboard the entire time you're typing, you're not going to be successful. So really practice on getting those eyes off the keyboard and being confident in being able to type without looking down. So when I was taking CritiCall, there was no virtual exam. Now, since COVID came around, since we're getting more in touch with technology, trying to get more people in the door quicker, a lot of people are sending CritiCall out virtually. They send you a link to your email. You take the CritiCall test that way, and then typically a lot of departments will have a follow-up test just to confirm that someone else didn't take the test, that this was actually you who got and generated this score. So it is possible that you take the test virtually rather than in person. If you do go in person, make sure that you're still dressing to impress. You're in the interview process. You never know who the person is that is giving you your test. So just be aware of that as well. Be comfortable, but professional all at the same time. So you're taking the post test. In California, a lot of folks still utilize the post dispatcher test. Now, the post test is different than CritiCall in the sense that it's Scantron based rather than computer based, but the goal is still the same. We're still looking for spelling, we're still looking for map reading, we're still looking for ability to take in information audibly and visually and copy them correctly. So the fundamental skills are still the same, they're just being tested differently. I personally call it the old school way because it's all on paper. You're listening off like a cassette or a CD off a speaker type of thing. So if you do have to take the post test, these skills are still going to be important for your success. Being able to copy things with phonetics, being able to listen and type, listen and write. That is still important if you are going to take the post test rather than the CritiCall test. So will you have access to paper and pen? The typical answer is no. Everything when taking CritiCall is done on the computer. So there's no scratch paper or anything like that. But if you're taking the post test, you will have access to paper and pen and scratch paper. So for CritiCall, unless the department says otherwise, you're going to be locked into only utilizing the screen in the computer software rather than having a scratch pad. And honestly, for CritiCall, that scratch pad is just going to slow you down. So get used to utilizing that keyboard for the CritiCall test. This is a question that I get a lot. How should I dress to CritiCall? My advice for everything that this department asks you to do is always dress business casual. You never know who's going to be in what room when you show up to it, especially the CritiCall test. I know at my first agency, our hiring folks administer the CritiCall test. So if you showed up, in sweats with stains on them, and the person you're going to interview with sees that. So show up business casual to every aspect of this process. I always dress business casual to my CritiCall test, to my interviews, to my psych, to my medical, all of it. It's just, you never know. So that is my advice when what you should wear to CritiCall and what you should wear to every aspect of this long process. Hopefully some of those questions are questions you're asking and are looking for answers for. If I didn't answer a specific question that you're looking for an answer for, please leave it in the comments section and I'll do my best to get back to you. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tell a friend, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, all that good stuff. We've seen a lot of growth over the last couple months and it's awesome. Make sure to check out our Let's Talk Dispatch segment where we talk to a bunch of different people who have been doing this job for much longer than I have about how awesome it is to be a dispatcher. So check all that out. Make sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you guys next time. Stay raspy, everybody.